Matt from Trail Rider Camp, and I'm here on a beautiful Saturday morning, ready to embark on my 2026 bike trip. So like last year, what I opted to do this year is to do kind of a series of different trails kind of clustered together with some camping at different state parks that I want to check out. This year I'm doing it over the course of 6 days, 5 nights, probably averaging somewhere around 50 miles a day. And frankly, just again, checking the box on a lot of different trails that I've wanted to do, but just frankly have never gotten the time. I like this kind of approach to bike touring because it allows you to pack a lot more in your car. It gives you that flexibility. And frankly, this time, unlike last year where I was out by the Harrisburg area, this year, every single trail I'm doing is probably within 2.5 hours max of home. So if for some reason, you know, my kids need something or my family needs somewhere I need to just drop everything and get back home, I have the ability to do so and kind of pivot on a dime. So this morning, I'm going to start off by driving about an hour and a half from home up to Valley, Pennsylvania, which is up by Punxsutawney, and I'm going to start off by doing the Mahonning Shadow Trail. So it's about 15 miles out, 15 miles back for a total of about 30. Today will be the low mileage day of the trip. When I get up there, I'm going to meet my buddy Justin. He's going to be with me for at least 1 day, maybe 2 days of the trip. From there, then we're going to drive about 40 miles south to Yellow Creek State Park, which is outside of Indiana, Pennsylvania. And the thing that's really cool about Yellow Creek State Park is that they don't have a campground, but they have cabin rentals and yurt rentals. And it's the only camping situation in the state parks, at least that I'm familiar with in this part of the state, that allows you to rent cabins for 2 nights. You know, most places you have to rent for the entire week. This one you could do 2 nights. So it ends up averaging like $50 a night. So we're basically staying there for 2 nights. Tomorrow, then I'm going to get up, do the Hoodlebug Trail, part of the Ghost Town Trail, go back, stay at the cabin again, and then kind of move on with the rest of my trip. So I'm super stoked about it. Like I said, the weather prospects here couldn't be any better for this trip. You're always kind of taking a little bit of a gamble with storms when you're going in early June. Well, there's none of that forecasted. It's going to be temperatures right around 50 every night, you know, right around 70, 75 every day, sun's out. So this is going to be an amazing trip. I can't wait for it. All right, made it up to the Valley trailhead here, the western trailhead of the Mahonning Shadow Trail. And you got this really nice lot. I mean, it's not marked on the road, it's not marked in Google Maps, but if you pull up Google Maps, you can kind of see where the trail ends in Valley. And you got a nice pavilion here. There's a little sign that says something trailhead. And then you got a really big parking lot. So tons and tons of spots for park. I mean, you could probably fit, you know, 40 cars back here if you really wanted to. So I'm going to get saddled up and wait for my buddy Justin to show up and then get riding. So I misspoke. There is a sign out on the main road here pointing to the parking lot, but it's only facing the one direction. So I came in from the opposite direction. And then, like I said, you come on in here. There's the start of the trail. Nice wide trail. Creek. And mile marker 3. So every mile's marked. A little opening in the trees and the creek. Wildflowers all along. Really beautiful trail. Nice and flat, nice and wide. A lot of Amish are in this area. I wonder if, well, I guess they can't bring the buggies up this. Bridge crossing over the Mahonning Creek. We were saying this creek almost looks like a canal. It's very uniform, very shallow. Really pretty. There's a parking lot right there at the end of this as well. So that's a Second big parking lot we've seen. So you cut through a few streets in Punxsutawney, but super well marked, easy to follow, no need for GPS navigation. Cruising through Punxsutawney. Again, signage is good. Do have to go a teeny bit on a main road, but not bad. So the trail comes out at a busy intersection, comes up a road that's 45 miles per hour and there's no signage, and then it's supposedly up here on the left somewhere. So this is one place where there is not any good markings. Not sure what mile we're at, but we're definitely going sustained uphill now. So most of the trail totally flat until this point, and a pretty pronounced gradient. Well, we just had a porcupine out in the middle of the trail. Oh, there he is. Probably can't see him. He's down in there trying to hide. And go
get a little closer. See if he's got it.
No, definitely not doing that. That might end the bike trail or bike trip very quickly. But complexion of the trail has definitely changed. Up to Punxsutawney, nice and flat, lots of mileage markers. After Punxsutawney, non-stop uphill.
And no
markers. No markers. But still good surface. Made it to the end of the trail, pretty definitive. And it says here 15.2 miles. And there's a little bit of a pull-off lot, but really nothing. We were hoping that there'd be a view since we've been going up non-stop for 5 miles. And there's no view. No view. So getting a little snack. And then turn around, and good news is that we'll be coasting for the next 5 miles down. Coming back through the outskirts of Punxsutawney. I must say it took us like an hour and 40 minutes to get up to the top of the trail, and we were making much brisker time on the way back. High recommendation to go this direction that we did, because it makes it way easier the second half. Alright, so we finished up the trail in record time, and we were given some intel to come here for a beer. So the Sandfly Brewing in Punxsutawney, and maybe I'll get my pizza eventually.
Bob's.
Maybe. Eating a late lunch at Bob's Pizza in Indiana. Place is booming. This is 4 pieces. And they don't have beer, but we're just providing our own. Nice outside seating. This was like $4. Made it to Yellow Creek State Park in an absolutely perfectly executed plan. That Mahonning Shadow Trail probably took us about 2 hours and 45 minutes altogether to do. And then we were talking to some people in the lot there for a while, and they told us about that brewery. So we drove 7-8 miles over into Punxsutawney, hit up that, what was it called, Sandfly Brewery, which was okay, but the prices were low. I think my beer was only like $5 and something cents. And so we had a drink, and then we drove down to Indiana, went to Bob's Pizza, which cost $4 and change for 4 slices, and that was phenomenal. And as you saw, we sat outside and took a beer out of our cooler and drank it. Nobody said anything. And then we drove about about 20 minutes to here. And we're staying at Cabin 5. And I'm blown away by how pretty this place is. So right here, I mean, again, we're right on the water. It's clear enough. If I want to, I could sit here on this rock, put my feet in, and then we have a little camping fire ring here. I'm sure we'll use later. We got a bunch of firewood, and up here's the cabin. So you get 2 parking spots. Nice little covered awning. And 2 bunk beds. 2 bunk beds. A desk. Ceiling fan. There is a plug to charge the cell phone, so that'll be big later. So really impressed for $50 a night for 2 nights. And then right there's number 4, I think. And then across the way is the bathhouse. There's 2 toilets and some showers. Sitting down at the lake, doing some fishing about 5 o'clock. Absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend Yellow Creek State Park cabins. Out on the dock of Yellow Creek. Big old bass. Well, not big old bass. Beautiful. Boom. Love it.
That's great.